The rain was coming down in sheets as I stood on the porch at midnight, my hastily packed suitcase already soaking through. Behind me, my mother-in-law Victoria Blackwell held the door like a bouncer at an exclusive club I'd just been expelled from. "Unsuccessful women don't belong in this family," she declared, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "The Blackwells have standards. We marry equals, not charity cases who play with computers all day." My husband Richard stood behind her, silent. After 3 years of marriage, his silence felt like the deepest betrayal. "Mom, please," he finally said weakly. "It's midnight. It's raining." Then she should have thought of that before embarrassing us at the gala. Victoria's voice dripped with venom. "Do you know what Constance Ashford said? That her son's wife just made partner at Goldman Sachs, while ours is unemployed." "Unemployed? I'm not unemployed," I said quietly. "I'm working on my startup." "A startup?" Victoria laughed cruelly. "Is that what we're calling failure now? 2 years of working from home in your pajamas, no salary, no prestige, nothing to show for it. Even the waitstaff at tonight's event had more success than you. The charity gala, where Victoria had introduced me as Richard's wife, she's between opportunities. Where she'd literally pushed me aside when the photographer came to take pictures of successful Blackwell women. Where she'd told a table full of her friends that I was Richard's little rehabilitation project. "I'm going to the Marriott," I said, typing on my phone for an Uber despite the rain, making the screen barely responsive. "We can talk about this tomorrow when..." "There's nothing to talk about." Victoria stepped back to let Richard pass me something. My laptop bag, the one with my entire life's work inside. "Take your little computer games and go. Richard will send divorce papers to whatever hovel you end up in." "Mom," Richard protested. "That's not. Isn't it?" Victoria turned on him. "You promised me when you married her that she had potential. That she'd be somebody. It's been 3 years, Richard. She's nobody. A nobody who made us look like fools tonight." The Uber pulled up, the driver looking concerned at the domestic drama playing out. I loaded my suitcase and laptop bag, then turned back one last time. "You know what, Victoria? You're right. Unsuccessful women don't belong in the Blackwell family. Which is why I'm leaving." She smirked, satisfied. Richard looked torn but remained rooted beside his mother. "Oh, and Victoria?" I added as I got in the car. "You might want to check your phone in the morning. Your boss will probably be calling." "My boss?" She laughed. "What would James want with me at?" I closed the car door on her words. The Marriott room was small but dry. I set up my laptop on the desk, checked the encrypted files one more time, and then did something I'd been putting off for 2 years out of respect for my marriage. I sent a single email. At 7:23 a.m., my phone rang. "Richard." "Sophia, what did you do?" His voice was panicked. "Mom's having a meltdown. Her company just called an emergency board meeting." "Something about a merger?" "I have no idea what you're talking about," I said, already dressed and packing up my temporary office. "Don't lie to me. You said something about her boss calling. What did you do?" "Richard, your mother made it very clear that I'm a nobody with no success, no connections, and no value. How could someone like that possibly affect her career?" "Sophia, I have a meeting. Goodbye, Richard." I hung up and called my real boss, though Victoria had no idea he existed. "Morning, Marcus," I said when he answered. "Phase 1 is complete." "How did she take the news?" "I wouldn't know. I'm not family anymore, remember?" He chuckled. "Well, as CEO of Nexus Technologies, I officially welcome you back to the office. Ready to stop hiding your light under a bushel." "More than ready." You see, what Victoria Blackwell didn't know, what I'd kept secret for 2 years to avoid exactly the kind of gold-digger accusations she'd leveled at me anyway, was that I wasn't unemployed. I wasn't unsuccessful. And I definitely wasn't nobody. I was the founder and CTO of ShadowSync, a cybersecurity firm that operated in complete stealth mode while developing revolutionary encryption technology. We had contracts with 3-letter agencies I couldn't name and corporations that would make Victoria's employer, Blackwell and Associates. Yes, she'd named her consulting firm after herself. Look like a lemonade stand. The startup I'd been working on from home? We'd just closed a $500 million Series B funding round, valuing the company at $3.2 billion. I owned 47%. The computer games Victoria mocked? They were quantum encryption algorithms that would reshape digital security for the next decade. And Marcus? He wasn't just my business partner. He was James Morrison's son, the same James Morrison who was CEO of Morrison International, Blackwell and Associates' biggest client. the client that represented 60% of their revenue. For 2 years, I'd attended family dinners where Victoria bragged about landing the Morrison account, never knowing I'd been in the room when Marcus convinced his father to give Blackwell and Associates a chance. As a favor, I'd said. My mother-in-law runs it. She's traditional but competent. By 9 a.m., Blackwell and Associates had lost the Morrison account. By 10 a.m., word had spread through their industry like wildfire. Without Morrison International, they were hemorrhaging clients who'd only signed on because of that prestigious connection. By noon, Victoria had called Richard 17 times. He'd called me 23 times. I answered none of them. At 2 p.m., I stood in front of my company's board of directors. People whose names regularly appeared on Forbes lists and whose combined net worth exceeded several small countries' GDPs. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, pulling up our latest development on the screen. I present ShadowSync's quantum encryption protocol. As of this morning, we've received acquisition interest from Microsoft, Google, and Apple. The bidding starts at $12 billion. Applause filled the boardroom. My phone buzzed relentlessly in my pocket. I ignored it. That evening, I moved into my actual apartment. The penthouse I'd bought a year ago, but never lived in to maintain my cover as Richard's struggling wife. The city lights sparkled below, a far cry from the Blackwell suburban mansion where I'd been so unceremoniously ejected. My phone rang. An unknown number, but I recognized the breathing pattern when I answered. Sophia? Victoria's voice was small, desperate. We need to talk. I'm sorry, who is this? Don't play games. I know what you did. James Morrison told me everything. How you're Marcus's partner. How you recommended us. How you... Oh, you must have me confused with someone else. I'm nobody, remember? Just an unsuccessful woman who plays with computers. I was hasty. Upset. The gala, Constance's comments. Constance Ashford? Whose son's wife just made partner. I laughed. Tell me, Victoria, what's more successful? Making partner at someone else's firm, or building a company worth $12 billion? Silence. You what? Google it. ShadowSync Technologies. We go public next month. My personal net worth as of market close today is approximately $1.5 billion. But please, tell me more about how I don't belong in your family. Sophia, Dr. Chun, I corrected. I have a PhD from MIT, by the way. 2, actually. Computer science and quantum physics. But you never asked about my education, did you? Too busy assuming I was after Richard's trust fund. Richard wants to talk to you. He's devastated. He had no idea. No idea? Or no backbone. He stood there while you threw me out in the rain. Silent. Complicit. He's your husband. Was. Past tense. My lawyers will send the divorce papers tomorrow. You can't. The prenup. The prenup I signed to prove I wasn't after his money? I laughed again. Oh, Victoria. I make more in a month than Richard inherits in a decade. The prenup protects him, not me. Please. My company, without Morrison International, is failing. Yes, I heard. Something about unsuccessful businesses not belonging in the corporate world. That's not. I need that account. I'll lose everything. Then you should have thought of that before making an enemy of someone you never bothered to truly know. Tell me, in 3 years, did you ever once ask about my work? My background? My life before Richard? Silence again. I didn't think so. You saw a woman working from home and assumed failure. You saw casual clothes and assumed poverty. You saw kindness and assumed weakness. I'll apologize. Publicly. I'll tell everyone. What? That you're only sorry because I'm rich? That you'll only respect me now that I have more money than you? No thank you. Then what do you want? Nothing. I want absolutely nothing from you or your family. I spent 2 years dimming my light to make Richard comfortable, hiding my success to avoid your jealousy, pretending to be less than I am to fit into your narrow definition of acceptable. I'm done. Richard loves you. Richard loves the quiet, unsuccessful wife who made him feel like a provider. He doesn't even know Dr. Sophia Chun, quantum encryption pioneer and tech billionaire. And whose fault is that? I hung up. The divorce was swift and surgical. Richard tried to contest it, claiming I'd hidden assets. My lawyers reminded his lawyers that I'd declared my company ownership in the prenup. He'd just never bothered to ask what it was worth. Victoria's company folded within 6 months. Without the Morrison account, and with word spreading about how she'd treated Marcus Morrison's business partner, clients fled like rats from a sinking ship. The ultimate irony came a year later. I was speaking at a Women in Tech conference when I spotted a familiar face in the audience. Victoria Blackwell, sitting in the back row, furiously taking notes. After my keynote on building billion-dollar businesses in stealth mode, she approached during the networking session. "Dr. Chun," she said formally, "your presentation was enlightening." "Thank you." I started to turn away. I'm starting over. Building a new consultancy. 4 women entrepreneurs. I was wondering if you might consider, that is, if you could possibly. You want my advice? She nodded, humility written across features that had once radiated nothing but disdain. Here's my advice, Victoria. Success isn't about the title on your business card or the brand of your handbag. It's not about who you know at charity galas or how impressive you sound at dinner parties. Success is about the work you do when no one's watching, the problems you solve that others can't, the value you create from nothing but determination and skill. I understand that now. Do you? Because the woman you threw out of your house for being unsuccessful built a $12 billion company while you mocked her for working in pajamas. Maybe next time you meet someone, ask what they're building instead of assuming they're failing. I left her standing there and went to find the actual entrepreneurs in the room. The ones working from their apartments, coding in coffee shops, building tomorrow's innovations while people like Victoria dismissed them as unsuccessful. 6 months later, Richard sent one last email. He'd seen the news about Microsoft acquiring ShadowSync for $18 billion. He wanted to apologize, to explain, to try again. I didn't respond. I was too busy working on my next venture, a quantum computing startup that would make ShadowSync look like a trial run. From my new office overlooking the city, I could see the Blackwell mansion in the distance, the successful family estate that had once rejected me. Now it was up for sale, Victoria having lost it in bankruptcy. My assistant knocked. "Dr. Chin, your 3 o'clock is here. The delegation from the National Security Agency. Send them in. Unsuccessful women don't belong in the Blackwell family? Fine by me. I had bigger families to join. The Fortune 500, the Forbes list, the history books of technological innovation. And none of them cared what I wore while changing the world.